Hello and welcome to a Wednesday edition. That's right, Wednesday edition of the Arn Eddie experience. My name is Eddie Sideburns. Joining me as always is Arn Experience, Arn Furious.
On experience. That's the name. Don't worry.
That's the name if I hadn't come along. And I say we're going to be talking about. It's going to be a quick one, but not too quick because we've got some stuff. We got some stuff to talk about. Arn, how you doing anyway? You doing okay?
Oh, I'm great. I'm peachy. I got sunburnt a little bit.
Okay.
Can't really see it because there's a light on it, so everything looks. But that bit's clearly paler than that bit because I was stood outside watching some actual live football.
Yeah, I know. I
For
heard.
like 3 hours. Oh, it was lovely. Lovely day. I saw an incredible goal.
I saw the clip of it. It looked phenomenal. I'm sure we'll get into it in a bit more.
I'm going to play it later.
Are you going to play it?
I'm going to play it later. Of Scotland just scored.
Scotland have just scored. Kevin Nisbet 2-1. Get it, run, you Dutch. Sorry. I told you. I said I was going to try and not look at the TV, and then Scotland have scored. So yeah, that's great reactions there.
So it's happening. We're doing this today because Monday I ended up having to go to work because they changed my shift and didn't tell me. So I basically went to the football and then I went to work. So we missed that. And then yesterday I had very little sleep.
And also,
Wednesday.
And also a topic that I don't think you want to talk about happened on Tuesday, and I think you needed a bit of time to revel in that, and we'll get into that a bit later. But yeah, I hope you're all joining us on a Wednesday. Sorry, it's a bit of a different day. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first thing we were going to talk about, other than that Kevin Nisbet, beautiful man, we were going to talk about the Champions League final.
Yes.
Pep is a fraud. Pep is a fraud.
Pep has completely outthought himself. So I've got the team lineups here.
Mm-hmm.
And it would help if I had the window actually where I can see it, because that would mean I can kind of wave my pointer around. There we go. So this is okay. So goalkeeper's fine. This is basically a back four. Not sure about that.
Okay.
And then you've got this. You've got 6 attacking midfielders there.
Yep.
I could probably look at that and say, well, Mahrez will play on the wing, Sterling will play on the wing.
Mm-hmm.
So this formation is a 4-6.
It's the old it's the Craig Levein Scotland tactic when he tried to do 4-6-0. It doesn't work. Obviously they've won the league, so it did work.
No, to be fair, this would have worked if you'd have put different players in here. And I think most people pointed out that Fernandinho would have been the obvious choice.
Mm.
But basically anyone that was more defensive-minded, because he's got Silva and Gundogan in the 2 holding roles in midfield. He played them there.
Yeah.
But they can't play those roles. Well, Gundogan is all right, but then you've got Bernardo Silva, he worked as hard as he possibly could in that game, but this is not his position.
Yeah.
So he was really struggling. If they just played Fernandinho, they wouldn't have had the cavalcade of defensive problems that they had. And this formation allowed Chelsea to get into the game with this formation, which this is not an aggressive formation from Chelsea. They've come in with... sorry, Ivan pointed out they picked 7 midfielders and none of them are holding place.
I mean, here's another thing we should look at, right? I mean, Chelsea have a decent looking team, except number 11 cannot score at the moment. He's pretty terrible.
So we're going to talk about Timo here. So Timo Werner, he has attributes that he brings to the game that are much more useful than if you just see in a highlights package and all you see is him missing open goals, which happens a lot. he has other attributes that are very, very useful. One of which is his movement. So, like, his movement off the ball is pretty terrific. So he gets into the positions. He gets into so many good positions that he gets all of these chances. His finishing is not great, so he keeps missing them.
Yeah.
People kind of thought all he had in the beginning when he was fluffing his lines is that he had a lot of pace.
Yeah.
So the focus was on, Werner's just really quick. He's fast. But his movement is terrific. And when you look at the goal came about because who had the ball? Mason Mount. So Mount had the ball. In front of him, he's got this. He doesn't have any other players like coming towards him to try and tackle him. I can't remember who it was. One of these two players, either Silva or Gundogan, is like behind him because they're not naturally defensive-minded midfield players, so they wouldn't be anticipating this.
Yeah.
So Mount's got the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no defensive midfield player, one of the centre-backs has to come out to him. That's John Stones. So Stones decides, I'm going to come out and I'm going to take charge of this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly not the best of ideas. He could have left it for Kyle Walker because it was kind of over that side. There was a possibility of an overlap, but then Stones could drop into that position.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, behind him, Timo Werner's making a sneaky little run down the flank. So Werner trying to pull out wide. That is a ball there for Mason Mount to play it down the line if he wants to. Play Werner in. So here's where Diaz gets drawn out because he sees the run and goes, I have to go with the runner. Kyle Walker can't see him because he's behind him. Stones has come out to go to the ball. So the ball goes in behind, potentially, and Werner's in down that side. He's going to cause mischief because he's quick. Diaz has got to cover the run.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, your lad Kai Havertz here has made a really intelligent run through the middle, seeing that Werner's taken the defender away. So this is the point where Zinchenko has got to take him out.
Yeah. But he doesn't.
He's got to get right side of him, and he doesn't. He doesn't do great. The whole defence is basically being pulled around by the movement of that Chelsea front three, and it's created like this massive problem for them that results in a Chelsea goal. And Edison as well gets involved in this defensive calamity by coming charging out and making it a lot easier for Havertz to get by him. And Edison, I feel, is an excellent goalkeeper, but I don't think he made the right choice there. So you're looking at a defensive back five there. And apart from Diaz going with the runner, I don't think any of them had done the right thing. And that's why Man City lost the Champions League. That and the fact that Pep Guardiola picked this.
I think also De Bruyne coming off and the way that he came off massively affected it, I think.
It certainly didn't help.
I mean, if you go to that substitutes, I think bringing Aguero on after 77 minutes is a bit of a...
That was a bit pointless, to be honest.
A bit of a P-take. Gabriel Jesus...
Another selection thing that doesn't seem to be being talked about is Raheem Sterling. Sterling has not played recently. He didn't look like he was on the ball, really. Was kind of a passenger for 77 minutes and then got subbed off. Why didn't you play him?
I think, as I say, I think they didn't take... I think Chelsea were kind of prepared for what was happening. And I think Man City have just been consistently playing the way they've been playing. Tuchel seems to have, like... Against Man City, he seems to have their number at certain points. Like, whereas Arsenal at the moment seem to have Tuchel's kind of number in terms of that. I mean, if you take Zinchenko, if you don't play Zinchenko, who do you have on instead? You have Fernandinho, we would say. Or who on that bench?
Well, if you got Fernandinho, you could possibly play central three to match what they're doing. And then you can play two wing backs, potentially.
Okay.
I mean, you could play Laporte. You could play Laporte, Stones, and Diaz. Or he could have just played the team that he was playing the entire season. Although I think he's got thinking because Chelsea got the better of Man City in the league with the normal Man City lineup. So I'm just going to get back to us now.
That's fine.
So with the normal lineup that they had, Chelsea kind of snuck by them and won in the league. So he must have been thinking, I've got to do something different. And with this lineup that he's gone for, he wanted to control possession. He wanted to control the play. And that didn't work out.
Yeah. And I think, and then obviously N'Golo Kante absolutely ran ragged the show. People kept calling him underrated. I don't think he's underrated. I think
everyone rates Kante.
I think unless you're living on another planet, you rate N'Golo Kante, and he looked very happy to win. Again, I think will Pep ever win the Champions League with Man City? I mean, he's got another chance at it. I mean, with Aguero now signing a 2-year deal at Barcelona, he's got to get a new striker, and he's got to get some. He's got to have a think about what he's going to do. And this kind of, again, not since Roberto Di Matteo as a manager came in halfway through a season and given Chelsea the Champions League. So
Roberto Di Matteo got sacked after about 2 months of the next season. So if I was Tuchel, I wouldn't be like getting too comfy just yet.
Here's a quick thing. I listened to this on the radio, and I kind of wanted to get your thought on it. Does the idea that Tuchel comes in midway through the season, uses the same players, doesn't make any changes because he can't, does that kind of throw away that managers do need more time to kind of get their own squad, or do you think that kind of throws that all out the window completely?
I think a good manager can take good players and mold them into something, because there isn't just one way of playing. There isn't just one formation. I'm sure like what Pep Guardiola has built at Man City has taken him a while. It shouldn't have done. He had enough money to get the players in that he needed, but it's taken him a while to get the players that he wanted in the positions that he wanted. Yeah. Whereas Tuchel has walked into the club at Chelsea, seen the players that were available to him and gone, what can I do with these players? And he's made it look pretty easy, to be honest. It wasn't, but he's made it look pretty easy. He played a better goalkeeper for starters. So
yeah. I mean, I think his experience is going to be better than it was at PSG, because at PSG you're having prima donnas who, are complete prima donnas and want to go back to Brazil to go celebrate with their sisters for some weird reason. But yeah, I think I'm just curious. Yeah. Sorry, bad. Need to take a drink there, pal. You okay? But no, I just was interested about it. I do think some managers do need to take some time, especially given what squad they've inherited and depending on the morale of that squad. But yeah, it's just very kind of up and down, I'd say. So well done again on Chelsea on winning the league. Pintman Kier will be very happy with that. Let's quickly move on, have a quick chat about the Europa League and a penalty shootout that happened, Arn.
Yes. I'm hoping everything's still working fine, because basically my tab that I was using to view stuff in has crashed.
Yeah,
so,
you're kind of frozen and then kind of coming back. I think you're okay for the moment.
I'm okay. So I can't show you who took penalties because it's not moving. But
there we go. You're back now.
Yeah, I wasn't just looking really stoic. It was there was a technical issue. So yeah, I can't show you the lineup there because it seems to be broken. But yeah, it wasn't a good game. I thought the Champions League final was a good game, but the Europa League final was fairly dour. I think the Villarreal knew that they were significantly outclassed. They also know that Manchester United can only really score when they're counter-attacking.
Yeah.
So they played a formation that relied heavily on defence, and they were very assured defensively. Man United conceded a really bad goal from a relatively straight free kick.
Mm-hmm.
Never should have been a goal. Lindelof is an embarrassment. He really is. The level of defending there was shocking. Subpar.
It was not very good. And then obviously they came back And when it went to penalties, I just kind of thought to myself, he is useless
Mm-hmm.
at penalty shootouts. Like every penalty that was being taken, it just looked like he had no.
Well, De Gea's a coward. It's a well-known fact. So, like, he's scared of his own shadow. He doesn't want to come for anything. The idea of trying to save a penalty fills him with mortal fear. When he had to take a penalty, I'm like, well, this is missed. Honestly, the shootout was brilliant, though. I was on the edge of my seat. There were some really good penalties in there. There was a couple where the keeper guessed right but couldn't get there because it was such a good penalty. There was one with Luke Shaw where I thought that was the only penalty in the shootout that wasn't very good until the De Gea one. And he got to it, the keeper, but he just didn't get it quite right, and he didn't get his hand in the right place, and it snuck in. And then he went down to the keepers, and I've forgotten the keeper's name, and I can't look it up because the tab's not working.
It was. Let me have a wee look while you keep reading.
Yeah, so I can't read it; it's not working.
while you keep Geronimo
Rulli, that's his name. So Rulli absolutely blazed it into the top hand corner. It was a fantastic penalty. And then it comes to De Gea, and I can only assume he's never taken a penalty before in his life. I think I probably could have done better myself.
I don't think he was arsed. I just don't think he was bothered, to be fair, to take one. Sorry, there's a free kick happening in a very close space. I just don't think he looked interested. Like when he was trying to save the penalties, I know obviously he is trying to make an attempt, but it just didn't look like he was at the races.
They should have sold De Gea when interest in him was high.
What they should have done is they should have
4
done,
years ago.
Yeah, they should have done the thing where they brought in Dean Henderson cold, just subbed him on just before when we knew it was going to penalties.
The old Tim Krul move.
Yeah, because Dean Henderson looked like he would have Dean Henderson probably actually could save penalties, unlike De Gea, who just looked tired. I'm glad that Unai Emery has been proved to be an actual success, and it's all Arsenal's fault.
I'm thrilled that Villarreal won because it's a tiny place.
Yeah.
Oh, we're moving. My tab's uncrashed itself. Fantastic.
Hey. I think Villarreal did. I'm very happy for Villarreal. They're one of those teams, the Yellow Submarine, that have kind of had their ups and downs.
This is the town the city of Villarreal. Let me draw your attention to something here. Population, 50,000.
Goodness me.
That's not a city.
Yeah. That's weird.
50,000 is a tiny, tiny town in most countries.
Yeah.
It's a very, very small place. So I was thrilled for them because they're an underdog. Even the Yellow Submarines are reference to them being like the underdogs. And honestly, I was thrilled for them. I was made up.
I mean, I'm just very happy. I'm just very happy that they went. That Emirates obviously turned them around, and now they've got Champions League football next year. Real Albiol looked really happy. Alberto Moreno looked extremely happy.
He was very pleased.
It was just very good. It was a very good day for them to win, and I'm glad they earned it. Man United just, I say, they looked at the races at points and then didn't look at it completely.
Yeah, my take on Man United this season, you look at what they've done. They've been very successful, but they've been very successful against anyone that's come at them.
Yeah.
If you don't go at United, you don't give them any space to play, what are they going to do?
Exactly.
You look at their successes, and it's come from the likes of Rashford, Greenwood, Martial, Cavani. They're getting in behind, and someone like Fernandes is pinging these balls over the top. You don't give them that space. You sit back and defend. What are they doing?
Yeah.
They don't have a plan B. But the plan A has been very successful this season because whenever they played a big teams come at them, give them some space to play into. So they've been having their worst results against the smaller teams, like getting goalless draws with I can't remember, they got goalless draw with like Brighton, I think was a goalless draw. So it's the small teams that have gone and just sat there. They can't break them down. And the great Man United teams of yesteryear, they had the same problem, but they could break teams down. They could get that breakthrough goal and force them to come out, and then they'd slaughter them. Whereas this Man United team, they're a decent side, but they can't get that opening goal.
Ivan says it better. Ivan has said it completely on there. You know, they were relegated back in 2012, so you've got to think, you know, they've turned it around. It's a hell of a turnaround, yeah. Where they are now, and obviously, you know,
I know they plundered Valencia a little bit last summer when Valencia went into meltdown, but that was funny as well. So,
when in doubt, get Valencia. I mean, the squad, the Villarreal squad, it's like Francis Coquelin, Etienne Capoue, Alberto Moreno, Juan Foyth.
You look at them; they're just a bunch of rejects. That's what I love about them.
I love it. I just love how it's like players who have went into like certain big clubs in England and just kind of then buggered off back to Spain. And also, it's really great that a non-Super League team beat a Super League team. So let's never forget how good that always feels. So yeah, Man United got a lot to do next season. We'll just see how that goes. And so now,
I did have a point for the Europa League final. We got into a bit of a debate in the group chat about how games should finish, because I was like, I don't like extra time. I don't rate extra time at all. It doesn't achieve anything. It's just an extra half an hour of the players running around getting muscle injuries. Nobody tries to score a goal in extra time. The one in the Europa League, it was just a lot of tired players looking tired for 30 minutes. Players going down holding their hamstring or whatever. I don't think it serves any purpose. I kind of liked the golden goal because then at least you could kind of go for it, grab that winner and not have to do penalties. But everyone just seems to just defend and nothing happens. So I don't like extra time.
I would like the idea of golden goal, and if 30 minutes of golden goal, and then if golden goal doesn't work, go on to penalties for sure. It'd be much better, I guess, because then I say you feel like for those extra time they've got something to play for. Lot more.
Extra time is just it's not good. I'd almost swore. No. Yeah, it's not. Listen, it's not good.
There was a lot of extra time over the course of the next things we're going to talk about. Well, there was one, I guess. So yep, that was a thing. That happened. We're now going to move on to a very touchy subject for one of us. The managerial roundabout that we talked about has happened. We were completely wrong about where Nuno was going. But it all started because of Zinedine Zidane, with immediate effect, decided to leave Real Madrid for the second time.
Well, he just got sick of being abused, didn't he? But Real Madrid is an abusive club. They were sitting there going, well, what have you done for us lately? And I'm like, the man's a winner. Yeah, just keep him. But like, he just had enough.
I think
he won like 3 Champions Leagues in a row and was like, right, I'm done. And then he actually went back out of the kindness of his heart. And Real Madrid fans are going like, oh, he only won because of Ronaldo. What nonsense is that?
He was.
Juventus have got Ronaldo. How did they do this season?
I mean, he basically got his job. He basically kept his job last season because he won La Liga. And then obviously this year they didn't win anything. And I think at that point, he's had enough, so he decides to leave, which I don't blame him. It's it's if you're not happy, go. What this does in turn, though, is Real Madrid now have to look for a manager, and with those on the market, there's Antonio Conte, there's oh goodness me, Antonio Conte, there's Allegri, there's Pochettino, but who did they go for? They look to their history, they look to the years of 2013 to 2015, and unfortunately, Arn, they break your heart, and they take Carlo Ancelotti. What was your reaction when you first saw this? I'll let you
There he
speak.
is, smoking advocate Carlo Ancelotti. What was my reaction? My reaction was twofold. One is like, screw Real Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, go find your own manager.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly was just an overwhelming sense of disappointment that Carlo Ancelotti has spent the last like year and a half preaching about how he believed in what Everton stood for. He believed in the club and the culture, and was looking forward to seeing the new stadium and being the manager when the new stadium opened. And he talked the talk, and he was a good ambassador for the club.
Mm-hmm.
But to just turn around at the drop of a hat and go, "Oh no, I saw Real Madrid," and his little announcement apologising to the Everton fans, but because he felt it was a good opportunity for his family.
Mm-hmm.
That tweet, he sent that out, and 60 seconds later sends out a "Hala Madrid" tweet.
Oh.
You can't trust the man as far as you can throw him.
So yeah, I mean, he might be there for that stadium as Real Madrid manager. You never know. But now that leaves you in the merry-go-round, Arn. So options that are up there. Rafa, Nuno.
Oh well, hang on. Let's. So Benitez.
Oh, hold on. Oh, they've scored. It's 2-2. Oh my
Here's
God.
Rafa Benitez. I want to draw attention to this item here. 2004 to 2010, manager of Liverpool FC.
Mm-hmm.
That's a no.
Okay. Okay, so you don't want Rafa. That's fine. Okay, I've got someone
No,
even
I
better.
don't.
Okay, I've got Nuno Espirito Santos. Come on now.
Yeah. So Nuno. Nuno's boring.
Boring.
Yeah. Let's get his mug up on the screen here. Here we go. There's Nuno.
Oh, he looks so happy.
He doesn't.
Just change the wolf. Just change the wolf for the Everton logo, and you're all good.
Last season, there was one team that I constantly refused to watch on television because they were so bad, and it wasn't one of the ones that got relegated. It wasn't your Fulhams and your West Broms. They were pretty entertaining to watch. They at least had a go at it. Wolves, with the squad that they had, to what did they get? 45 points.
If we have a look, let's have a check.
Absolutely dire. Nuno looks like Nathan Redmond's dad.
Wolverhampton Wanderers finished with 45 points in 13th place.
I mean, I know a lot of Wolves fans who were not happy with Wolves this season. Were quite happy that he left at the end of the season and are looking forward to getting in a more progressive coach who's going to play attacking football. Wolves this season have been an absolute chore to sit through. So, I mean, Everton have not been particularly fun to watch either. I feel like this is a combination made in hell. And I think if you put Nuno at the helm of Everton, you're going to have a fantastically boring football team.
Okay, so Nuno's not for you then. Okay, right. Let me sell you this one. Right, okay, let me sell you this guy. He's a surefire hit to be the Celtic manager at one point. Eddie Howe.
Eddie Howe. Let's get him up on screen. There's fresh-faced younger Edward Howe.
Eddie Howe, who basically was all ready to go to Celtic and then decided, well, they're not giving me my staff, so I'm not interested.
Fair play to him.
And now they're bringing in, or they're rumored to bring in, the Australian version of Pep. Some guy called Ange, and I can't pronounce his second name for the life of me. But yeah, Eddie
we're not
Howe,
attempting that one.
Yeah,
Eddie Howe. Yeah, Eddie Howe has a history of not leaving clubs, so he's got that going for him.
Okay. So maybe not him. Okay.
No,
okay, maybe. Okay. How about this, right? Think of it this way. You see your ex, and your ex is doing really well with another team.
You can ask me if I want David Moyes back.
How about David Moyes?
He looks like such a muppet.
Look at him.
See if I can find a better picture of him. There we go. Smiling David Moyes.
Anytime I think about David Moyes, I just keep thinking of him trying to pronounce Iramendi. When he was Sociedad man, he's just going, Iramendi, and it looked like a robot had frozen and just hitched, and glitched. So yeah, what about David Moyes? Would you take David Moyes?
No, you never go back. You never go back. Like, if you're a football manager and you're going back for a second stint at the club, reconsider that. Okay. You never go back. It's never a good idea.
Okay, I've got one now. Okay, this is one of the final ones, right? Okay, he knows Merseyside all too well. He's just recently won a title, with a club up here. Steven Gerrard.
All right, I'll put my earphones back in. Steven Gerrard, absolutely not.
No?
Absolutely not.
Not even a consideration of it?
If they're considering it, then there's something seriously wrong with them.
Okay.
Absolutely not a chance in hell.
I would be interested to see what would happen if it was him. I think other options you have could be Graham Potter of Brighton.
I heard Ralph Rangnick. I don't know. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong.
Ragnick. He's basically he's a bit of a taskmaster. Ragnick. That could work. Been recently part of the Leipzig Red Bull kind of experience. That could work for you. Maybe. Oh, Sergio that man.
Conceição. Yeah.
Scotland have just drawn with the Netherlands. So, by the way, we're drawing the Euros. Just wanted you all to know. We're going to draw the Euros.
Paulo Fonseca, I've heard him mentioned. Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney, who nearly got Derby relegated last season.
That would be... I mean, what about Super Frank? Could you get Super Frank?
Fat Frank, he's in the running, apparently.
I mean, you've been linked with Roberto Martinez coming back. Would you want him?
But no, you don't. You never go back. You never go back.
Okay.
Even can't wait. Howard Kendall went and did a second stint at Everton, and it was miserable. You don't go back. Even Mourinho went back to Chelsea, and it did not go well. You don't go back.
I can't wait for Big Sam to be linked to the job next. That'll be a laugh.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Another possibility is Drunken Duncan. I mean, like he's in the running. He's on the shortlist.
Okay. I mean, what about Eric Ten Hag? Ajax. You could take him.
That's not going to happen, is it?
Jurgen Klinsmann.
Klinsmann. I haven't even heard him linked. Are we the first people to link him to the job?
Either him or Chris Wilder, maybe. You never know.
I've heard Wilder. That's one of the names I've heard.
There's numerous people, but anyway,
at the moment there is no clear favourite. Although I feel like the bookies are leaning towards Nuno, but then the bookies were leaning towards Nuno for the Tottenham job, and I don't think he's going to get that. So
yeah, I say. I mean, we'll go over them next week, and we'll see what happens when we'll maybe tackle them a little bit next week. The Spurs job, we thought it was Nuno. We got it wrong. It's going to either be... It looks like it's going to be either Poch returning or Conte.
Yeah, there were very strong rumours this week. Sorry, I'm on a betting site. Let's see if I can.
It's okay. I'm on next. I was on next Everton manager odds. No.
So this has changed. So during the week, we went from we're pretty sure it's going to be Nuno, which was just over a week ago. Nuno's not even on the list there. Nuno is there. He's like 20 to 50 to 1 in some places. They're convinced that he's not going there. We had Pochettino midweek. It felt like it was signed, sealed, and delivered. Poch was going to go back to White Hart Lane. And I said he'd never go back earlier, and that goes double for Poch, who left a squad that was struggling because it was I don't want to say old, but it was
turgid. The football
was
become
tired.
turgid.
It was a tired squad. They've signed like one player since then, and he wants to go back.
I think it's Conte. I think it's definitely Conte.
His odds on now.
Well,
so it seems like it's swung towards Conte.
Well, the thing is, they're bringing in. I think to lure Conte in, they're bringing in his director of football. And that's the easiest way. Get someone in who can work with him, get it right, know what's going on. Simple. You don't really need to think about it. Poch, if they go back, it's just, as I say, it's going back into the past. There's really
he's asking for trouble. He does want to leave PSG, but PSG have kind of
basically said, you've got 2 years, so you're stuck with us.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere. So he's not going anywhere. Martinez has been linked to there. Obviously, he's got the Euros to play through first. So much can change in the course of a month. So much has changed in the last week.
Steve Cooper from Swansea's been linked with the jobs. Would not be surprised. But yeah, we'll move quickly on to. We'll see what happens. Keep again updated on that. We're just going to quickly have a quick breakdown. Afers is not here, so I can't believe we're going to be talking about it without him. The EFL playoffs were here. I watched the Lincoln Blackpool game. Didn't watch Brentford versus Swansea. Watched a little bit of the League 2 one. Did you watch the Championship one?
The Brentford game, yes. Yeah, I watched that. Okay.
What did you think of it? What was your thoughts? What were your takes?
Well, Swansea didn't turn up. So that kind of made life a little bit easier for Brentford. They had an early penalty, which is just the goalkeeper was a little bit asleep. These things happen. But then Ivan Toney almost scored a sensational goal where he volleyed it from outside the box and it looped over the keeper and it came back off the inside of the bar. And he hasn't scored a goal from outside the box this season. That would have been his first one, and it would have been an absolute peach of a goal, and it would have absolutely wiped Swansea out. Swansea kind of held on a little bit, but they were not at the running, really. It was as soon as that penalty went in, it was basically Brentford's to lose, and they never looked like losing it.
The red card definitely looked quite dangerous from what I saw from Jay Fulton. I saw that.
Well, it was a weird one because he was running behind him and he kind of stepped on his trailing leg, but then when he fell over stepping on his trailing leg, he also went straight through the back of him. So it looked like the first time it ran in real time, I was like, why is he just two-footed him from behind when he was running out of play? Whereas in actuality, he just kind of stepped on his the back of his Achilles. It was a horrible tackle, but it wasn't. I don't think it was intentional, but it's still a red card, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I saw. So I'm excited to see how Brentford do. They seem to have evolved the Moneyball method of kind of stymie's and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to see how that goes. Blackpool are back in the Championship. He's not here to talk about it. I'm disappointed. But yeah, I thought it was a good game. Lincoln, the under a minute, not even a minute in, and Blackpool have their Blackpool concede to Lincoln, and you think Blackpool are really going to try and make a big deal of it here, but Lincoln hopefully should kind of hold on.
Ollie Turton, wasn't it? Ollie Turton put through his own net in the in the first minute.
And then come forth Kenny Dougal with two cracking goals.
Oh my word!
I'm glad Blackpool are back because it means there's more rivalries in that league. But I do feel quite bad for Lincoln. Michael Appleton. I mean, the budget they had.
Yeah, I think
they were scheduled to finish 16th, and they've obviously.
it was nice of them to get that far, but I think if they had gone up, they'd have been cannon fodder in the Championship, to be honest. Sorry, but Blackpool, I think, have got more of a chance of staying up.
Blackpool have a big budget, I imagine, and probably have had a lot more put into them, so it was kind of expecting them to go up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pleased for them because they've had terrible owners. And, I mean, if Athers was there, he'd be agreeing here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they've had a terrible run, really, really dodgy owners. They've struggled. They've been... they went a couple of years with the fans outright boycotting the games. It's nice to see them doing well again.
They've appointed a good...
I mean, the town's an absolute dump, but, you know.
They've appointed a good coach, like Neil Critchley, who's, you know, a Liverpool coach. He's a youth manager. So he knows the names to bring in. He knows the youth players quite a lot more. So hence why that squad is very youthful. I'm glad, like, you know, I think Lincoln might go for it next year. I hope they do. Put a little bit more into it. I think a lot of their budget this year went towards their ground and the pitch. So I really do hope that Lincoln can go back into it again.
Yeah, it's fair play for Lincoln. I like Lincoln. It's a nice place.
Morecambe versus Newport was just... It was a bit drab.
Didn't actually see even the highlights of that one, so...
so it's up to me now. Okay.
Yeah, afraid so. Go nuts.
I came back into a bit of it. I came into the middle of it. I like Newport. The kind of story is about Kevin Ellison.
Yeah.
Because he's like 42 years old or something. He's old. And the manager of Morecambe basically didn't see anything in Kevin Ellison and let him go. Because he'd played at Morecambe for quite a while, actually.
There was that lovely bit in the league where he'd scored that goal against Morecambe. Then he ran up and celebrated right in front of him.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And it kind of almost mirrored itself in the final. But yeah, it kind of got a bit sloppy. It was a 107th minute penalty. I think Newport were very unlucky. A lot of things kind of weren't going their way at certain points. And yeah, it was an interesting final. I think it wasn't greatest. It wasn't great, but it did get kind of a little bit more exciting as it went on. The penalty was a bit soft. I wasn't sure about it completely, but Morecambe go up. Newport County stay down. I hope Newport go back up soon.
Yeah, to be honest, Morecambe, I don't really have any strong opinions about. Newport, all right. Yeah, I like Newport's kit.
Yeah.
By the way, that's usually the decider when I'm not bothered about the two teams. It's like whoever's best dressed. I hope they win.
I think Trent Alexander-Arnold's been injured while we are talking, so that might be great for.
Oh no, we're going to run out of right backs.
So that's the EFL coverage for the moment. If Athers comes back in next week, we might try and talk about a tiny bit. You went to a game, Arn. Yes. You went to go on.
I did.
Let's have a chat about it while I search up what's exactly happened with Trent Alexander-Arnold. On you go.
I was a delight. So I went to watch the Alfchurch FC against Bromsgrove Sporting in the Red Recruitment Trophy, which it's like a round robin tournament. There were supposed to be 4 teams in it, and I'm not really sure what happened, but Worcester weren't in it in the end, so it was like a 3-team round robin. But Bromsgrove, they needed to win or draw against Alfchurch in the final game, which is the one I was at, to win it. And it was a pretty decent game, considering it was like 25 degrees and I got sunburned. I'm going to play you the video of the goal.
Okay.
So in the background, I'm just wondering if I can go full screen. Is that going to work? Yeah, it does. In the background, you'll be able to see the scenic rolling hills of Worcestershire. It's quite right. But what's really pretty is the goal. So I'm going to show you the goal.
Let's have a quick watch of the goal. Here we go.
Here it comes. Here comes the goal.
Right. Okay.
Get in.
Oh, that is beautiful, Arn.
So that that young man there, number 9, Jason Cowley, the non-league Messi, is outstanding footballer. If you think this is a fluke, have a look at some of his other goals because he does bang them in.
Okay.
And I'm just going to wind it back a little bit because you can see me.
Where are you, Arn?
I am there.
Oh, okay.
that's me right on the edge of the screen there. That's my wife.
Oh,
yeah.
And how did Mrs. Furious enjoy her first taste of football?
She she keeps ignoring you when you call her Mrs. Furious.
Yeah.
She said, get him to stop calling me Mrs. Furious. That's not my name.
Sorry. Sorry.
My lovely wife Maria. I think
Maria.
she enjoyed herself.
If she's ever in the room when we're in a production meeting, I'll go, "Hi, Maria."
Hey, there we go.
There we go. So yeah, it was a good game of football overall. That's your first.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Jason Cowley, after scoring that absolute worldie, actually managed to get himself sent off. But there was like something happened and he got booked.
Okay.
And I have absolutely no idea what it was for. So I had a look on Sporting's Twitter to see what they thought it was for. I'm gonna now show you what they thought it was for.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a bit ambiguous, and then 2 minutes later.
Oh my goodness! Booked for number. Oh goodness me!
So I'm not sure what he got booked for, and the late challenge that he had was the defender cleared the ball while he was trying to get to it, and the defender kicked him, and that's what he got sent off for.
Oh,
non-league officiating, not great.
No, I can imagine not. So yeah, that was a thing. Right.
I enjoyed it though. It was fun. I'll be doing it more.
Well, hopefully, I mean, we've got a lot to talk about for next week. No other sport today at the moment. Next week's the first week of our Euro coverage, so we're going to try and cover as many teams as we possibly can. Maybe a little bit of a bumper one. We'll see.
Yeah, we're definitely going to look at all the bigger sides. France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands.
The runners and
Portugal.
Riders.
The lads who have got a solid shot at winning it.
And Scotland.
And we might have a look at Scotland as well.
We will have a look at Scotland. I have a lot to say.
Because it's England versus Scotland. We'll do England and Scotland's group. So we'll have a look at the lads that are in there, Croatia and the Czechs, and we might not.
Sorry, yes, I did. I showed it to Arn. It's hilarious. It might be the funniest little league play to ever exist.
Was that when you ran into the wall?
No, this is the one where the Javi hits it. It goes to the third baseman. The third baseman goes into the first one. He doesn't. He's not on the bat. He's not on the base. He runs after Javi. Javi runs towards home. Yeah, it's just hilarious. He should all he needs to do is put his foot on first base. Javi's out. Javi's just smartly wandered back. Are you watching it again?
Oh no, I'm trying to find it because I know you put it in the chat and I can't.
I sent it to you, so I sent it to you specifically. So I think.
Yeah, I know, but we talk a lot, so I'm scrolling up and I can't find it.
So basically, what happened was, so that happened. It was hilarious. It might be the funniest play of baseball. Just search Javi Baez on Twitter, you'll find it. It can't happen. You'd have 20 dads screaming. You would. Honestly, the guy just needs to hit. He just needs to He just needs to push.
All right, so let's just pop this up here.
Here we go. Oh, here we go. I love it. He goes off
just
the mound.
Just go back to the bag. What are you doing? And what's this as well? He could have literally walked over and tagged the guy that was making the run.
Yeah.
And then they don't make the throw.
They don't make any throw until it gets
to
the third baseman.
And look at him.
Anthony Rizzo. I love Anthony Rizzo so much for that reaction.
Howling.
Yeah, it was brilliant. The Cubs are actually winning a lot more recently, which has made me in a positive mood. We'll see how that lasts. But yeah, baseball's just brilliant fun to watch. There's one I showed Arn where a person fell into or walked into the wall. So we'll try and cover some stuff if we can. I mean, next week is going to be our Euro coverage.
Yes.
We do want to give a plug to the Arn and Eddie episode with the lovely Alan Farrell, that went a bit down south, and went a bit everywhere and nowhere.
Yeah, Alan had a lot of stories. It was great though. If you don't want to watch the whole thing because it's an hour and 48 minutes, just watch it from the start, because right near the start there is an Andy Cole story that is.
There's an Andy Cole story and one that we really cannot mention.
It was great.
Yeah, so those two are the best ones. If you haven't done so already, like and subscribe. They're down below. We will be back on Monday, but before we go, we are going. Arnold put this up in the link below in the description, and we'll also put on Twitter. We are doing an Arn and Eddie fantasy football league for the Euros, even though Yao is apparently retired from it. I think this will probably call him out on it. I know he's a coward, absolute. Winner will get maybe first, second, and third get prizes. First, we'll probably get a jersey of their choice within reasonable limit. We are not made of money, and we're doing this because we're having a laugh. And yeah,
actual prizes though. Actual
prizes. First, second, and third get prizes. We will have a conversation about those prizes. So, Arno put the link in the description, and he'll put up on Twitter just announcing about the prizes and stuff like that. We would love a lot of you to come and join it and have a laugh, because hey, it's fantasy sports, they're all fun. We'll be back on Monday, hopefully, unless I die or he dies. You're retired from international football fantasy. All right, pal.
Coward.
Yeah, well done. You won a league. If you're retired, then you can't take part in it next year, and you're out. You can't defend your crown. And it doesn't matter if it's international. Well, technically, it is international football fantasy because it's international games. So there you go. You've done yourself a pal. Other than that, yep, that is us. We will see you all on Monday for the first episode of Euro coverage.
Woo!
Thank you very much.
Very excited.
Bye-bye. Bye.